What's new, crew? If you're new, my name's Cassandra. Today we're sitting down to talk about my March meal plan. I took a couple of minutes a couple of days ago to work this out. A couple things heading into March is we have Easter at the end of March. Easter is pretty low-key. All of my family's holidays are very low-key. There's only like 10 of us total, 11 of us total, so it's very minimal. My brother's enlisted, so he's not going to be home, so in reality it's my family, my sister and my dad, so it's very, very tiny. So we kind of play things by ear, and our meals are potluck style, so at the very last minute we'll decide what we want to do, if we want to get together. If not, sometimes it's just happy Easter. We'll come hang out when everybody's schedule is together, and we're able to connect, and we'll do a game night or something like that instead of a typical Easter meal. For my husband's family, if you're new, my husband is one of 7 children, and to keep things kind of quote-unquote fair or even, each individual family or sibling takes a holiday, and they do that holiday every single year. That way there's no confusion when it comes to holidays, who's doing what, when, where, and why. It's very straightforward. You just know that Easter is this family's, like we do Christmas, so we host Christmas every single year, and that's just how we opt to do it. So for Easter, which is our first meal of the month, is I'll bring a side dish, I'll bring a dessert, I'll bring something, whatever that family wants me to bring, I'll bring that. Sometimes we don't have to bring anything. It just depends on who's hosting and whatever the circumstances. So the first meal of the month is Easter. Just, I knew it was this month, wanted to get it out of the way and on the meal plan. So we'll bring something. Might bring deviled eggs. We'll bring something. I always bring something. We're gonna do a sweet and spicy salmon patty. I found a couple different marinade things that I wanted to try heading into summer. I know it's only March, but heading into May is usually, April, May is usually when the weather starts to change here in Wisconsin and things get warmer. And I want to start switching over to some of those warmer meals and just trying some new recipes, some new marinades. That way when the summer months come and the garden is busy, I can just marinate some meat, put it in the fridge. At the end of the day, we can throw it on the grill, throw it in the oven. So we're going to try a sweet and spicy salmon. I'm going to marinate my salmon and then bake it in the oven, and then make that sweet and spicy marinated salmon into salmon patties. Just something different. We're gonna see how that goes. We're gonna do a BLT chicken salad. Saw this on Pinterest and it just looked really, really good. Once, like I said, heading into those warmer months, it just sounded good. So we're gonna give that a go. And then the first weekend heading into March, it's supposed to be 60 degrees all weekend. So that might be a really good time to try, this BLT chicken salad. We're gonna do $1 million chicken bake, cheesy chicken sausage pasta. Once again, found this on Pinterest. That's typically where I find a lot of my meals or meal inspiration. I'll just head into Pinterest, and typically what I'll do is I'll shop my freezers first, and if I have a couple of ingredients I'm looking to get rid of or looking to use, I'll type those ingredients into Pinterest and it can spit out a handful of recipes at me, and I can pick something that also carries ingredients that I'm typically buying anyways, like cream or chicken stock, things like that. So pastas are always a really good option. I try to do pasta about once a week for my family, sometimes more, just depending, but I talked about this in a recent video. I'm pretty sure it was a weeknights dinners recipe video, but I do have a couple nights a week where I fly solo for the day while my husband's at night school or something like that, something for work or for school, and it's just me and the kids. And on those nights I really like to do pasta for a couple of reasons. One, the kids never complain about eating pasta, and I never complain about eating pasta. It's quick, easy to throw together, easy cleanup, and it usually creates leftovers, so I can pack my husband's lunch for the next day. I'll have leftovers for myself here. So I really like to do pastas and to try different pastas, mix it up, things like that. So we're gonna do that. We're definitely gonna do sliders. We've done this a couple of times over the last couple of months. The kids love them, my husband loves them. They're super easy, and then usually I'll pair those sliders with like homemade potato wedges. We will bake those in the oven with like some Parmesan cheese and some chives, and they usually are really, really good. So we're probably gonna do that. I'm gonna do a honey garlic stir fry. So this is another one that I like to do while my husband's not home, because my husband is not the biggest fan of stir fries. So we will eat those on nights when he's not here, and then I can prep something else for his lunches for the next day, even if that's just a sandwich or something. So I like to sneak those meals in that he maybe isn't the biggest fan of, but everybody else likes on nights where he's not home. So we're gonna do a stir fry. I'm also gonna do a chicken stew. I did still want to have some cold weather recipes on here, because just in the next week we have some days that are going to be 20 degrees, 30 degrees, and then other days it's going to be closer to 60. So pretty much March and April are kind of those 2 months where the weather will trick you and it wants to be warm, and then you'll get a dose of reality that it's not quite spring yet, or it's not quite that warm weather that you're looking for. So for the next couple of weeks, or next couple of months rather, the meal plans are going to be a mix of cold weather things and stews and soups and pot pies and things, and mixing in some of those lighter, easier meals heading into those warmer days. We're also gonna do a pot pie. I just, in my roaster pan, made a whole turkey. My husband picked it clean for me, and I have a huge bowl in the refrigerator full of turkey meat. Oh, whatever we don't use the next day or two of that turkey meat, I'm going to put in a Ziploc bag and put back in the freezer. And then heading into March, whenever I'm ready to make that pot pie, I will pull that turkey meat out and throw it in the pot pie. We're also gonna do a cheesy scalloped potato cottage pie. This was another one I saw on Pinterest. We do cottage pies or shepherd's pies not all the time, but often enough, and this just looked like a different take on it. My husband and my kids absolutely love my scalloped potatoes. So I figured if I can get a shepherd's pie underneath it and top them with scalloped potatoes and bake them in the oven, I'm pretty sure my family will like that. So I want to give that a go. We're gonna do baked tacos. Pretty typical for us. Every month we do some sort of spaghetti rotation and some sort of taco rotation. It's been a while since we've done just a baked hard shell taco. So usually I'll put my taco meat in the crock pot, let that go all day. I'll throw in maybe a little bit of cream cheese, some shredded cheese, maybe a little bit of salsa in the taco meat in the crock pot, let that go. Then when it's about 20-30 minutes before we're gonna eat, I will take that taco meat, shove it in a hard shell taco, and we bake it in the oven. And it's absolutely delicious. Top it with our regular taco toppings. Everybody loves it. Sometimes I put rice in that taco as well while we bake it. It's really, really good. We are also gonna do a teriyaki pork chop and a Hawaiian pasta salad. This is probably my family's favorite warm weather meal. Everybody loves a teriyaki pork chop. I will marinate the pork chop in soy sauce, a little bit of water, some brown sugar, a little bit of honey if you don't want to use brown sugar, onions and garlic, and I'll just let that marinate in for a couple of hours. You can either grill this or you can bake it in the oven. Either way, it's really, really good. And we love to pair that with a Hawaiian pasta salad, just pasta, mayo, and then I like to shred in a raw carrot, a raw onion, throw in some celery, toss it with a little bit of seasoned salt, some pepper. It is so good. It's one of our family's favorite go-to summer meals. I'm gonna do a chili mac. Have never tried this before, just saw it, it looked really good. I'm gonna do an Italian chopped slider. It just looked really, really good. I saw this on Pinterest. This is another meal that we could pair either fresh vegetables with, or we could do more potato wedges with, and I think everybody would be really happy with that. These sliders and the Italian chopped sliders, I'm kind of envisioning for like a Saturday or a Sunday dinner. Also gonna do ravioli and sauce. We've been making our own homemade raviolis, and my oldest daughter loves to get in the kitchen and help me make the pasta. So we're gonna do that. That will most likely be a weekend meal. It's a little bit more labor intense, and I'm kind of debating just cranking out a crazy amount of raviolis, getting them in the freezer, and then having them as a convenience item over the next couple of weeks. Do a roasted whole trout potatoes But with the potatoes, I'm going to make them in this like creamy garlic sauce, a little bit of heavy cream, a little bit of garlic. I think they're going to be fantastic. The potatoes I found on Pinterest as a side dish, they looked so good and very easy to do. And once again, ingredients that I already carry in my house all the time anyways. We love roasted trout. My husband's an avid fisherman. If you're new, he brings in, over the last year, I want to say 100% of our fish here. We eat fish about once a week, sometimes a little less, just kind of depending on the mood. But we go through a lot of fish, and our favorite way to eat just the like little stream trout and things like that, or the little brook trout, whatever you want to call them, is we will bake them in the oven with a piece of bacon in them and like some lemon pepper. They're fantastic. We like to keep them very simple, but they are fantastic. They're very good. And that's what we are going to be doing for that roasted trout. A recipe for a stuffed venison backstrap. We don't have any backstrap right now, but I do have a tenderloin that I think I could use this with. I might not stuff it, but just throw all the ingredients in with the tenderloin and kind of saute it in a pan together, and you'll get the same kind of feel. So we're gonna do that. I found this one on Pinterest as well. We do some form of homemade pizza every Friday. Fridays are typically like my deep cleaning days on the house, and I get everything pulled back together on Friday. That's the day like the bathrooms get scrubbed, the floors get scrubbed, kind of that deep, I'm gonna say deeper weekly clean that happens here. That way when the kids get home, my husband gets home on Friday, all we have to do is worry about eating the homemade pizza, hanging out, we'll play games, watch movies. It's just kind of like the week is done, the house is clean, we're hanging out, we have nothing to do, and this is it. In the summer, we're outside, you know, we'll go fishing, we'll go swimming, whatever it is. It just kind of depends on the season, but that's kind of been the Friday tradition around here for the last couple of years, and we absolutely love it. So every Friday we do some sort of either strombolis, calzones, pizzas, stuffed crust pizzas, deep dish pizzas. It always changes, and we always change the toppings so it doesn't feel super repetitive, but it is a tradition that the kids know, especially my school-aged kids. They get on the bus in the morning, they tell me what they want on their pizzas. I will get the pizza dough together, get it rising, and that way when the kids get home, we can rock out whatever we're doing that day, whether it be strombolis, calzones, pizzas, and we can do things that way. Sometimes we do chicken bacon ranch pizzas, sometimes we do barbecue pizzas, so it always changes, but something like that. The kids and I and my husband, we all really like it. So that accounts for 5 days because we have 5 Fridays in March. I'm gonna do a cowboy casserole, something I found on Pinterest, but I feel kind of like a broken record. It's ingredients that I already buy, I already keep in the house, and that's really how I stay in my grocery budget, especially as a large family of 6, is simple ingredients, real food, real ingredients, and keeping things really humble, really basic, and it helps us stay in the grocery budget a lot outside of just growing a lot of our own vegetables and locally sourcing a lot of meats and buying in bulk. Things like that is just cooking with real, simple, humble ingredients. You're always going to save money that way, and it's not surprising or shocking that real food is going to keep you full longer because it actually has sustenance and nutrients that your body needs. If you're just eating a bunch of empty calories, you're going to be hungry more often, you're going to eat more. So that's just kind of how we do things around here, is real foods, simple ingredients, and just a lot of using of the same ingredients in different forms, in different fashions, whether that be like making, you know, instead of buying French fries and potatoes and hash browns and whatever it is, I can buy one 10-pound bag of potatoes and I can make my own potato wedges. I can shred those potatoes and make hash browns. I can dice those potatoes and put them in our breakfast burritos or as a side with eggs in the morning, and it's a lot cheaper that way, it's a lot easier that way. So that's kind of how we like to shop and cook. I'm gonna do a creamy pot pie noodles. I've done this a couple of times a couple months ago, and my family loves them. They're fantastic. I want to try to film this recipe for you guys coming up this month, so we'll see how that goes. We're also gonna do a cowboy stew. This has been something that I've had in my meal plan the last couple of months, but it just keeps getting skipped over. We're gonna make it this month. I'm going to, the first cooler day that we have in March, I'm making this because it looks really good and it just keeps getting passed over. So we're gonna make it this month. We're also gonna do crunch wraps. We haven't done crunch wraps in a very long time and we all really like them. So we're gonna do that this month. Also gonna do shredded chicken over rice. I like to do my shredded chicken in the crock pot or in the Instant Pot. We put in some gravy and we'll have shredded chicken and gravy over rice, potatoes, noodles. You can put it on buns and make it a sandwich. One of our absolute favorite meals. And then the last 3 meals, I don't have specifics on, but we're gonna do some sort of crock pot meal for those. I have a lot of options right now. We just got half a pig. My freezers are full of pork, fish, beef, kind of whatever I want. So I didn't plan out these last 3 meals. I'm gonna play it by ear and I'm gonna shop my pantries and my freezers to throw together some sort of crock pot meal for those last 3 meals. Doing this for a couple of reasons. I wanna leave those meals open because I've done a lot of bulk cooking kind of accidentally over the last month where we've had a lot of leftovers in the fridge. So I want to leave those 3 meals open in case we end up having too many leftovers and we're making sure that we're eating through those. But also in case we decide that we want to go out or something happens like Easter and we get sent home with leftovers, something like that. We also do have 2 birthday parties this month that we're going to, and we probably won't be home for dinner those days. So instead of planning meals for those days, I'm just deciding to make them some sort of crock pot meal, and if I need those meals, I'll shop what I have. If I don't need those meals, I'm just not gonna worry about it. Typically, I would recommend against that is plan for every single day of the month, and if you don't need it, at least you have it. But right now I have a really big back stock, so I'm not super worried about it. I know I'll be able to find something. So that is my meal plan for my large family of 6 heading into the month of March. The next videos that are going to be going up are my once a month grocery shopping hauls for this meal plan. So if you want to see those, the grocery budget, everything that we get for my large family of 6 for an entire month at a time, make sure you subscribe so that you can see those videos. If you are really anxious and you don't want to wait, I can link down below my once a month grocery shopping playlist for you guys, and you'll be able to see kind of what we get and things like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you guys have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you guys in another one.